Hey, listen, first of all, I want to say thank y'all for coming, man, because I know y'all could have did anything. Y'all could have been home, chilling, but you came out to watch, listen to me talk, whatever, have some fun here at the place. This is a cool place, right? It's a cool place? Cool. One girl, it's cool. All right. So let me tell you a little bit more about my story. So one guy asked me today, he was like, what do you do? Like, who do you play for? So I played with the San Antonio Spurs, and then I played with the Globetrotters for 4 years, and I played overseas. I played in France. Bonjour, oui, pipi, right? So I'll tell you my story. So again, I grew up as a kid with a dream to play professional basketball. How many of y'all have, like, what's your dream? How many of you have a dream? Like, you want to beat somebody. You came out of your mother's womb, breathe and push, what you want to do? So I grew up, I wanted to play basketball. I can tell you that my dad was 6'6", my brothers were 6'8", 6'7", 6'2", my mom was 5'3", and I grew up in a home where my dad would literally make me watch him make my mama get on her knees, and he would beat her with a water hose, for real. Like, my dad would come home, hammer 6 nails in a piece of wood, he would turn to sharp points, he'd beat my mother, he'd beat my brothers, and then he would beat me. And so as a kid growing up, man, I was very angry, I was mad, and I was real driven. With basketball, for the group of basketball, I shot about 3,000 jump shots every day. I ran 3 miles every day. I strapped my mother's car on a major freeway in Houston, Texas at 4 o'clock in the morning. I would open up the door, dribble the ball while I was going 5 miles an hour until I could do it going 10. Right? I got to go to college in California, became a 2-time All-American, led the nation in scoring, got to go all over the world, playing the NBA Globetrotters, and I lived the dream. My life was great. But the reality of my story was, my mom never told me she loved me. Like, I never heard that. She told me 19 years ago, and I'm 50. So, like, you can imagine hearing that at 19. My dad was very abusive, so when I was going to school, I was very suicidal. I was angry. I was a hurt kid, right? But there was 2 people, kind of like the people you see here tonight, in the red. They're not gangbangers, but in the red and blue. Those people, orange. You know what I mean, orange. And so they just came into my life and just really started telling me things I needed to hear. Like I said, I was angry, hurt, and they would say stuff like, "Hey man, you're awesome." And I was like, black people will be going to the hood and talking about, "Hey man, you're awesome." I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, "What are they talking about?" They said, "You're amazing." And they gave me my first birthday party, man. I went from making all F's to being on the honor roll to being the first one to graduate from college in my family. My high school coach, like, he drove me to one of the richest areas in Houston. The houses was huge, man. And I grew up, I saw drugs, prostitution, gangbanging. That's all I saw. So I'm driving, I'm seeing these houses, like, man, the house is huge. He said, "Man, you can live in a house like that." And it literally changed my life. And I want to tell you, like, just real quick, because I'm going to be out of your hair like I'm out of mine. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you real quick, how many of y'all here have ever read the Bible? Okay, cool. Well, there's a story in the Bible, but I'm going to tell you the story. It's kind of like the NIV, but it's going to be like the Negro International version. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to throw it a little thug-alicious, right? So the story is about Jesus had been walking with his disciples. And they went to go get some food, and so Jesus goes to this well, and this lady, the women at this time would only come to the well early in the morning because it was hot. It was so hot, I was white when I went there. It was hot. These women would come in the morning because it was hot, but this particular woman didn't come in the morning. She came in the heat of the day, when it was the most hottest, because she was known in town. She had a reputation. She was a little thug-alicious, little gangster, and all these women would always talk about it. So she never wanted to be around the people because of her past, right? And so Jesus comes to her. He didn't ask her, like, "Hey, what church you go to?" He didn't ask her, "How long you been saved?" He asked her a question. He was like, "You've been married 5 times." And that's a problem. So there's something going on inside of you. So here I am. I signed my first professional contract. My life is good. I'm on Oprah. I'm on Little Nick with Adam Sandler. My life is great. I'm living my dream. And I remember I started wilding out like Nick Cannon. I started drinking. I started messing with girls. And I don't know if you ever get to a place where you're just kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, I don't know if you ever look at your life and go, you're not really happy with your life. Like Stevie Wonder can see something ain't right with your life. You know what I'm talking about? So I go back to my hotel room, I call my manager, and I say, "Man, I'm wilding out." And she said, "You know what, Melvin? You need to forgive your mom." And see, there are many of us today, we have a lot of anger inside, a lot of stuff going on inside. We know how to hide it, because the older we get, the better we get by hiding behind the mask. Like, some of us wear makeup, and like, they can't see it. Some of us look at that. But see, all of us, we have these masks, we wear these masks, and the older we get, the better we get with the mask. Even sometimes in the church. And so I go to the hotel room, I call my manager, and I'm crying, I'm telling her all the things I'm doing. And she said, you know what I did today? And I'm like, what? She said, I ate chocolate. She said, I shouldn't be eating chocolate, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. She said, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 2 rights made an airplane. And she said, in order for you to be great, she said, you need to go home. So I go to my mom. I fly back home and go see my mom. And you got to understand, when I grew up as a kid, I wasn't really, like I was into hoops. Hoops was my life. So you can imagine playing in front of 30,000 people, and after the game is over, there's 1,500 girls that look like Beyonce going, good game. Yeah, and you like, to the left, to the left. You take your shower on the way to the bus, it's another 1,500 girls looking like Rihanna, and she's shining bright like a diamond. You don't got 15 guys on the team talking about, let's go to ground zero. They're going, you know what I'm saying? And as a young kid, looking for love that I didn't get from my mom, you can imagine, that was very tempting. So I fly back home, I go to my mama, because most parents don't really want to tell, like, if they did bad. They want to just assume we're all just great parents, and we came out of the womb, we were just great parents. So I go to my mom, and you gotta say my mom she was a hitter, so I was like, Mom, you never told me you loved me, you never held me, you never told me you was proud of me. That's when my brother got married and right you. I mean, my head was like a milk dud. But the healing began. My mama was like, you know what, I worked hard, I did all this, and I was like, Mama, money can buy a nice dog, but love will make it wag its tail. It wasn't about the gifts, I just wanted you to tell me you love me. I went to my dad's grave. My dad had died at this time. And like I told you at the school, my daddy was the best hide-and-go-seek player I've ever played against. He just wasn't around in my life, so I was very angry for that. And I go to my dad's grave, and I'm talking to like my dad's grave. I'm letting all of this anger out, all of this stuff I had inside. And I didn't leave until I forgave him. Not forget it, forgave, right? I went to every girl that I made a mistake with, and I asked for forgiveness. I went to a store that I robbed as a kid. I walk into the store, I'm in this long line, and I get up to the front, I pull out $200, I put it on the counter, and the guy says, what is this for? I said, when I was a kid, I stole blow pops, lemon heads, and gummy bears from your store. He said, this wasn't my store. I said, it don't matter. This is where I did the wrong, and I want to make it right. You can imagine all the people was looking at me like, oh my God, how you did that? And all of a sudden in my life, young people, like what happened is every door that was shut in my life began to open. My heart began to change. I began to love. I got married to my wife, and I was telling, I don't know if y'all heard the story because I told it to the 6th graders, but when I came home in 5th grade, I saw my mom's back broke and she was bleeding because my dad used to beat her all the time. And I was the kid, I was a mama's boy. I would put the Band-Aid on her arm, I would cry with my mom, and I said to myself, I'll never hit a woman. I would never hit a woman. So in 5th grade, I knew one day I was going to get married. So I started writing poems to my wife. I wrote poems to this woman I never met. Poems like, where you at? I miss you. I look better than him. You know, they're poems. And I came home after my first year with the Globetrotters. And you gotta understand, my wife is so black, she can put her fingerprints on charcoal. Like, you know you black if you can wear yellow lipstick and look like a cheeseburger. Like, you know you black if you can drive a motorcycle and get pulled over from windows too tinted. But my wife is fat, P-H-A-T, pretty hot and tempting. And I was signing autographs, and Sonia walked by, and I was like, the Lord is my shepherd, he knows what I want. And I followed her into this Barnes & Noble, and I was like, do you have a boyfriend? She was like, no. I was like, how long have you had that problem? Don't settle for a kid's meal when you can get a value pack. Don't get a hamburger when you can get a Big Mac. After she slapped me, I gave her my phone number. And she was different than any girl I've ever dated. She'd walk into a room, and it was dark, and there was one light on her. Actually, it was like 2. She real black, you couldn't see her. I began to realize she was the one. So I retired from playing professional sports, and I took her to a beach in Galveston, Texas. Like I said, the beaches here are amazing. Y'all have the best beaches. Galveston, that water's so dirty, I used to be white, and I swam in there my whole life. I baptized a baby, and he died in that water. That's what I'm talking about. So I put a white piano on the beach. I got 11 of my best friends. I gave them all white tuxedos, gave each of them one white rose, and as I played her song, each got brought a rose. We took a helicopter to a tall building downtown Houston, had a table set up. She liked Subway sandwich, 6-inch turkey on wheat, everything but bell pepper. It's like a coffee, black liquor, man, one equal. I know a girl, you know what I mean? I put the ring in the sandwich, she didn't eat it, but she said yes. So the next day I took her to the movie, about 3,000 roses, and while we wait for the movie to come on, all these guys started bringing the roses. So I was like, hey, who gave you the roses? Was it the DJ? Because I know he was checking her out. So I acted like I was mad. I walked in front of the movie theater, I grabbed the mic. Now I've spoken in front of 8 million kids, like I don't get nervous. But I was sweating like Mike Tyson in the spelling bee contest. I mean, I was nervous. I I said, I want to thank my girlfriend, my fiance, for saying yes. It's been 20 years, 2 months, 3 days, 16 hours, 12 minutes, about 39 seconds. Nobody's counting. And I began to be different than my dad ever was. My sons, when they was in my wife's stomach, she was pregnant, I would go every night and I would touch her stomach. And I said, you know what? My son is going to do something great. He's going to do something great. My son is in college now, playing college basketball. My youngest son is doing awesome. But I saw those things. And see, people always would ask me, how did you change? Like, how can you be so funny and loving when you saw your dad beat your mama and then your mom never told you she loved you? I'm going to break it down till you real easy. When I played professional basketball, we gambled with a game called Madden. And I never lost. When I'm telling you I was good, I was like your face. I was awesome. You know what I mean? I never lost a Madden. And so my son Seth, when he was 6, he's watching me beat these people online. I'm beating them in France. You lose, and I'm beating them. So one day Seth said, Daddy, you want to play? So we're playing the game, and I'm whooping my son. I'm beating him. And I'm like, who your daddy? He was like, you. You know what I mean? I run in this room and go, hey Seth, look what I found in your pocket. Loser! He started crying, boogers and snot was everywhere. And from 6 to 8, he never wanted to play me. He never wanted to play me. But I found out maybe he went on Google. I don't know, he learned how to play the game. And I came home and he said, hey Daddy, you want to play Madden? And I was like, you want some of this? And he was like, Daddy, I want all of that. So we're playing the game. First quarter, he's whooping me 35 to nothing. And he's all in my face like, who your daddy? And I was like, you. He's running my room like, hey Daddy, look what I found in your wallet. Capital 1 and loser! And he was all in my face, his breath was funky. He needed an Altoid, Tic Tac, and some bubble gum. He was so condescending. He was talking trash, he was all in my face. I got mad, I walked away, and I accidentally tripped over the power cord. The TV cut off, the game cut off, but I plugged the TV up. I turned the TV on, and I pressed restart, and it was 0 to 0. And I say that to say that many of you in the first half of your life, maybe you've been getting beat down, maybe verbally, maybe emotionally, maybe physically. But every day is a new day to press restart. Every day is a new day. I did some investigation. You ever wonder, you always ask this question, why would my dad leave me? Or why would my uncle do some things that I've been holding on to secrets? I feel like tonight there have been a lot of secrets that have been held for a long time that's been holding us back from being everything that God wants us to be. We know how to hide behind the smiles or the grades or the cool personality, but there are a lot of us here tonight that came really searching for something deeper than a comedic laugh, right? So maybe you may be asking that question. Well, I did. I asked the question, why would my mom tell me she loved me? So I did some investigation. Why would my dad be so abusive? Well, I found out my dad, my grandfather, had been married 8 times. That brother was a pimp for real. And what kids see, they practice, and what they practice, they become. So my uncle died with his 3rd wife. My dad cheated. My 2 brothers have been married 3 times, and my own brother threw his own son out of a driving car. My nephew was in a coma for 9 months. My brothers became even worse than what my dad did. My mom's dad was an alcoholic and a gambler. He beat my mom's mom all the time. My mom's mom worked 3 jobs so she wouldn't have to deal with the affairs and the abuse. My 4 uncles are gamblers, drugs, and alcoholics. 3 of my 4 aunts all married abusive men. The same women who saw that when they were little girls like your age, they said, you know what, I'll never marry a man like that. But when you don't forgive, you repeat the cycle. And see, I came here to Myrtle Beach because I want to challenge you young people. You're a whole different generation. And it doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where you're going, right? But it has come to a point where you have to come face to face, whatever that Goliath is in your life, whatever it is that's standing in front of you that's holding you back from being everything that God wants you to be. You young girls, man, I got to talk to some of you. Y'all are some of the kindest, sweetest, beautiful, not just on the outside, but you're beautiful on the inside. And what will happen is you'll hold on to the anger, and it'll become bitterness, and it'll become unforgiveness, and then you'll marry the same type of guy that you saw your dad, because that's all you know. Some of you young boys, you're awesome kids. I mean, I talk to some of you, but some of you are so angry. When you walk in, you're just mad, mean one the whole time. Like, what you mad about? How can you be mad? You're coming to a place like this. This place is awesome. You get to see a cool DJ, white chocolate. How can you get mad? You know what I mean? When he came in, this dude was just mad. Just mad. You're mad when you hold on to this thing. So you may ask this question, Melvin, how can I get from where I am to where I need to be? Many of you have ever asked that question? If you're happy where you are, then keep doing what you've been doing. But if not, if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've always been getting. And I believe that Jesus came down for a whole reason. Not just to be saved, that's one, but he also came so that we would be set free. Because there are a lot of people who are Christians that are still in bondage, still hate people, still insecure, still dealing with lust. I mean, all of those different things. And he didn't just come so you would be saved. He also came that you would be set free. And if you watch me, any of you watch me out there, I grew up as a kid and I was shy. Many of you wouldn't believe that because I got diarrhea of the mouth. But it's amazing what will happen if you give God everything. He'll give you everything. He'll give you fullness of joy. He'll give you patience. He'll give you understanding, give you how to, when you're going through rough times, you can overcome that. So here's my challenge to you. The story is about a particular island. And on this island, whenever a man wanted to marry a woman, he would pay for that woman in cows. And there was no woman on this island who would ever receive more than 5 cows. So the decree went out. The king was a young guy, kind of short, kind of good looking, kind of like myself. And he's looking for his wife, which is probably the second greatest decision you will ever make in your life. Your salvation and who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Because those are big decisions, right? So he's looking in the back. He sees this girl like, man, she got sideburns. Now, I ain't with that. Adam's out. No. He looks back. That's the one. That's the one. And the father says, you must be on drugs because that girl's name is Ugly. She is the ugliest girl on the island. This girl had hairy armpits. Looked like she had 2 black dudes with an afro and a headlock. She had hairy legs. It looked like a jungle. I thought I saw Tarzan. Her eyebrows were so thick, Tony Hawk used to skate on them. She had teeth in her gums. That is sick, unless you're from Charlotte. She was the ugliest girl on the island. The king said, listen, I'm going to go home, I'm going to pray, and I'm going to fast, and I'll come back, and I'll negotiate about how many cows I'm going to pay for the daughter. So the king leaves, and all the girls went to that girl and said, you know, girl, he ain't going to marry you. You ugly. You got hairy armpits. And the only reason we like you is we can stick bars in your armpit when we go to the movie. You know what? If somebody starts telling you ain't pretty enough, or you ain't smart enough, or you just like your daddy, or you're going to be just like your mama, when you hear that enough, it's really hard to believe when somebody says there's something great inside of you. How can you believe that when you've been beat down your whole life? Some of you go home, you hear it all the time. Girl, you're going to be just like your daddy. Some of you, at this point, even in 8th grade, 7th grade, some of you have just given up. You've clocked out. You say, you know what, if they don't care, I don't care. Some of you young boys are so angry, mad, you're just punching walls. And you didn't even punch Barbie. Like, you hit a dog? He comes back, he goes, you know what, I prayed about it, I fasted. I'm going to give you 13 cows for your daughter. The daddy fell out. Daddy called Benny Hinn to get that brother back up. He said, if I've offended you, I'll give you 21 cows for your daughter. So the story goes that the son and the daughter-in-law get married. He goes and knocks on the door, and this girl opened the door. She looked like Halle Berry, Cameron Diaz, and Jasmine rolling the tortilla. Muy, muy bonita. He said, what a kingdom that this king would have beautiful women as his maids, but I came here for my daughter. You know, the girl was on Jurassic Park. That girl, the ugly girl. And she goes, Daddy, it's me. And see, just like that story, as fun as it is the same gospel message that's been preached for over 2,000 years. And that in all of our lives, we all feel ugly. In all of our lives, we all feel like, how can God use somebody like me? And how many of you here have done some things in your life that you know God has forgiven you, but you can't forgive yourself? Anybody like that? Yeah, you know, we walk around in guilt and condemnation, not realizing that 2,000 years ago, Jesus knew everything we were going to do from the day we were born to the day we're going to die, and yet he still died for you and for me. But the cool thing about God is that he doesn't give up on us where we are, because he knows we're going to become. That's why he's patient with us right where we're at. And just like God, the king went to the lady and said, you know what, you do have some hairy armpits, I ain't gonna lie, but you got some nice arms. She started shaving them off, gummy bears and Twinkies started coming out. It was a whole Mexican pinata. Oscar de la Hoya, Shakira, they all came out. He said, you have hairy legs, that's not normal, but you got some nice calves. She started shaving them off. He said, your eyebrows kind of thick, look like a freeway, like going into downtown. He said, but when you look at me, you set it off, so we got them shaved off. He said, you have teeth in your gums. He goes, you from Charlotte? He said, but when you smile, you brighten up my day. She went to orthodontist, got it hooked up everywhere she went. People thought she was off the chain. And see, people ask this question. My brothers are like screwed up. My niece and my nephew, my niece has been, like, I'll be quite honest, she's been molested, man, because my brother was never there. My nephew hates my brother so bad, he hates him, that he dives himself into music to be so successful that maybe one day his dad would hear about him and come. See, but for me, I chose to be different. I didn't want to be like my uncle. I didn't want to be like my dad. So I made a decision. And when I gave my life to Christ, it wasn't just something I did with my words. It was a total 100% life change. You want to know how I changed? I've been married for 20 years. I've never hit my wife. Many of you that hung around with me, all I did was build you up. How can I do that? If I'm mad at myself, I cannot make you guys feel loved. You came out today because you said, you know what? That was a cool dude. He made me laugh. I kind of connected with him, and then you came out. A person that you never met before in your life. You don't even know, but you came out. Why is that? Because it's something deep. I'm going to tell you this story, and I'm going to give a little challenge to you. See, I wake up every day, and I came here to Myrtle Beach, and Scott brought me here. I came here for a reason. Y'all want to make me laugh, because if you hold it in, you're going to fart. You know what I mean? But I came here to tell you young people, listen, COVID hit everybody. There's so many kids committing suicide. Miss America just jumped out of a building and killed herself. This is who the world said was one of the most beautiful women in the world. That blows my mind, girls. Stevie Wonder can see y'all are beautiful, but you do so much stuff to try to be beautiful, but yet you don't even feel beautiful inside. That is crazy to me. Stevie Wonder can see you look good, and then you're competing against each other, and you all look good. You got young boys that don't even know how to be men. So we're looking on social media, and we're looking at certain channels to make us feel like a man. Like, yeah, body count. And then the guilt, and then the shame. Miss America, who we said was one of the most beautiful women in the world, struggled with insecurity. But if you got to know her, I'm pretty sure her dad wasn't in her life. She didn't have a man to tell her, hey, you're beautiful. Not because you wear makeup, you look good anyway. So she was looking for love. Any guy, hey girl, your mama was a terrorist because you the bomb. Oh man. Oh man. You got young boys that don't even know what being a man is. We're gonna have cool people like the DJ showing us how to do it. And I get a call to do a virtual event. A virtual event. It's not church. But everything that I do is church. If I have to tell you I'm a Christian, something is wrong with that. I don't go to a park and go, hey everybody, I played in the NBA. No, I don't do that. I go to the park and I just ball out. And they go, you know what, man? You're pretty good. You played in high school? I'm like, yeah, I played in high school. I come back the next week, I'm balling. They go, man, you're pretty good. You played in college? I did. I played in college. Come back the next week, I'm balling. I say, man, you really good. You played? I played in the NBA. It's the same in your Christianity. If I have to tell you that, there's a lot of insecurity going on. You should see it in my joy. As you watch me walk around, I did that because you're worth it. I didn't just come here to eat some hot wings, though my mouth is on fire. I came here to tell you that you're awesome. Your hair makes you stand out, makes you special. And even if it wasn't blue, you still stand out. And I get a call. And a lady, an Indian lady who was a Hindu. She believed in like thousands of gods. Everything was a god. Monkey, that's a god. A tree, that's a god. It works with a tree. And she called me and I said, hey, what's up, Kim Kardashian? How was Kanye West? And she just, she would FaceTime me and I said, man, your hair all pretty. She just lit up. So this lady called me every other day just to say, hey, can you make me laugh? Who lives in Canada would call me from Texas. So I do this virtual event, virtually. I'm not even in front, like we're in front, this is cool. But this was virtually. When the chat was going up, it looked like the Matrix. I didn't say anything about God, didn't quote no Bible verse, I just loved. And you young people, you can tell a cubic zirconia from a diamond. You know what's real and what's fake. You can see right through that. So I didn't come here to try to be like I'm holy. I'm not that guy. I'm not. And I do it, and all of a sudden the next day the lady calls me and says, hey, the CEO, that means the person who owns the company, wants to talk to you personally. Can he have your number? I'm like, yeah, give me the number. called me up. He said, hey, man, I want to tell you something. I said, what's up? He said, my mom died a month ago of COVID. My wife died 5 days ago. And I was coming in the office. I set up the Zoom for my team. And that night, I was going to kill myself. He said, but when I saw you on TV, I couldn't take my eyes off of you. And I'm here today because of you. Many of you are going to leave here tonight totally different from this one night of a school assembly and a white DJ and some coffee that's going to give y'all gas for 2 months. So here's my challenge to you. If you're here today, listen, you've been running. I feel like a lot of you have been running from a lot of things. A lot of you are hurting tonight. A lot of you girls, a lot of questions you're asking. A lot of you young boys, because we got to be tough. We got to be cool. We can't show we hurt because we got to always be tough. We got to wake up gangsters and we got to die gangsters. And you've been running, and you may be asking this question. What is it that this Melvin is talking about? And I really want to know. I want what he has. I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that. And then I'm going to challenge you with something. So real quick, I'm going to get you to close your eyes. And I'm going to just pray with you real quick. But our eyes closed, head bowed. If you're here tonight and you say, you know what, man, Melvin, I hear what you're saying, man. And I'm feeling what you're saying, man. No cap. I'm feeling what you're saying. I'm angry. I got a lot of insecurities. I've been smoking. Some of you have been drinking. Maybe you've been dabbling in the sex and you've been beating yourself up. You've been watching some crazy stuff on your phones. It's been messing up your head, your mind, and you got a lot of guilt and shame. I want you to know that tonight is not a night about convicting anybody because we're all screwed up. Myself in particular. If you're here tonight and you say, no, Melvin, I don't want to leave tonight the same person I did when I came in. I'm hurting, but tonight I want to be different. If that's you tonight, with all eyes go ahead, bow. I'm going to pray a prayer out loud. I just want you to pray it out loud with me. Say, Father, I'm a sinner. Father, I've done wrong. You told me to do this, and yet I did that. But the Bible says that if I believe and if I confess that Jesus came, that Jesus died, that Jesus rose again, the Bible says I'll spend eternity with you. I ask you, Jesus, come into my heart, change my life, make me into the person that you call me to be. I thank you for my new life in you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. This is my challenge. I'm not the guy that says, come on down. When me and Scott was talking, I've never been that guy. That stand up, come on down, and then we start thinking we're more holy and all that. I'm not into that. Because if you prayed the prayer and you really meant it, you'll see life change in your life. And that's what it's really all about, right? And so, Ground Zero, to tell you a little bit about Ground Zero. Ground Zero is a great place. It's a great place. I don't know if any of you saw this place. This place is incredible. I wish we would have had something like this when I was a kid. We never had nothing like that. It would just come to church and all you heard was, Jesus, my Lord, die for you. That's all I'm saying. We didn't have none of this coffee. Like people weren't drinking no coffee. That's some honey buns that they got 2 weeks ago. But we didn't have none of this volleyball. You get to hit somebody in the face. Hey, they got a little game right there. You can play video games. It's crazy. I've never seen nothing like this. This is a really cool place. And if you pray that prayer tonight, I want to challenge you with something. If you pray that prayer tonight, see, this is Wednesday night. And Wednesday night is cool. We get to have this fun. We get to do all these things. But if you really want to take it to another level, if you really want to grow in your walk, Monday nights is the time you want to come. Because that's really when you get to be around these people that are wearing orange, blue, and red, and you can really grow. Because as a basketball player, I wanted to be the best. And if I wanted to play in college, I couldn't be taught by my high school coach. He could only get me to be a good player in high school. I needed a college coach. So I got a college trainer. When I wanted to go to the NBA, I didn't have no college. He didn't even make it to college. He didn't get out of college. I wanted an NBA trainer. And if you want to be great in your walk, if you want to be better, you got to get around people that know more than you do, right? And I don't know, again, some of the people I don't know, but if you're a girl, where's Rachel? Rachel? No, Rachel, she's a lady. Well, this lady right here, so there's a lady right here, she's wearing glasses. She just raised her hands. I don't know if her armpits smell good, but I don't know that. But that lady, listen, you may look at that lady and she may look like she got it all together. That is a thuggalicious white lady right there. And for you all that may have a rough background, you want to hang with that lady because she gonna keep it real. She gonna tell you like it is. I'm trying to look over the scene. Let me look. Oh, right here in the back, the lady right there. I think that's works in the front. You work here, right? Is that you work here? Up on top, right? Is that the lady that eat with us? Yeah, that lady right there, man, she told me her whole story, man. You know how sometimes you meet Christian people and they try to act all perfect? That lady told me a deep story about her life, like what she'd been through. She was homeless. And I'm black, and I'm like, man, you white, man, you know, homeless white people. Because that's just what we know. Like, we ain't never seen that. But this lady came out and told me a whole story. Scott, I think is that Scott? Scott is a guy who runs, this is his thing, and his wife is, where's his wife? Everybody left, okay. Oh, she in the Rosa Parks section, okay, they way in the back, okay. They back there in the back. But you have some amazing people here. Where's Holden? Holden? Is Holden? Holden, come here real quick, Holden. Holden, and where's Carly? Because they're going to tell you more about this Monday night. But listen, this guy's 21. I know you thought he was 14. And Carly is 33 years old. But anyway, I know you thought she was 17. No. But listen, these are some, if you want to hang out with some young people, Holden is a Coast Guard. You know what I mean? If you ever feel like you're drowning in life because you know a lot of blacks we don't swim, he can save us. And this is a young guy, and he runs the thing on Monday. And Carly, she's an amazing young girl. You may look at her and think she look perfect. She ain't. She's got a story. She got a testimony. And for you young girls, I really challenge you young girls, man, get to know her. This is a cool chick. If you're gonna pierce your nose, you know you cool. You got to put bigger boogers from a ring in your nose. Oh, you gangster. And they're going to tell you more about money, but my challenge for you as I leave, if you really want to take it to the next level, really, seriously, like, if you're really tired of the life you've been living and you want to see better, you got to take it to the next level. And I challenge you, they're going to tell you more about Monday nights and how that really can inspire and change your life. Listen, I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me speak to you. I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Melvin. That was incredible, man. What a story. And just, like he said, there are people that helped him train him in what he wanted to be. And in helping you guys train to become, just like Melvin's story, to overcome the current things that you're dealing with, whether it's at home or at school, that's what Ground Zero is here for. It's a place where you can come and you can belong and you can grow. And they can be around people that care for you. And not just on Wednesday nights where we have cool events like this, but also on Monday nights, right, Carly?
Yeah, so if you decided to make that commitment tonight, or you're just interested in learning more about what faith looks like, on Monday nights at 6:30 at GZ, where you are right now, we have iGrow, which is just kind of, I wouldn't call it a Bible study per se.
I'd say it's a place like, here's a good place to come out and hang out and meet some people that really care about you. And those same people, or a lot of the same people, are going to be there on Monday night. But Monday night is where you go when you got some questions. Like, you're going to get some questions answered. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really good place to dive into some good discussion.
Yeah, and we have a video of the speaker that we've been having the past few weeks.
And
so here we
his
go.
friends, which I love.
Oh, yes.
Check it out.
Hey, what's up, Ground Zero? This is Eric Hogan and Xena, the warrior gold doodle princess girl. Hey, Scott tells me you guys have had a great time with Melvin. I'm so happy to hear about that. And he tells me that some of you are very serious about having a real relationship with Jesus Christ. So you probably know the last commandment that God gives his disciples. He says, go and make disciples. very next word he uses is teaching. Teaching them. Education is discipleship. How are you being educated today? Look at what you do. That'll determine who you've been educated by. Hey, I want to invite you to join us on a few Mondays. We've got a few left, a few Mondays. We're actually meeting together to get real deep into God's Word and talk about how it correlates to God's world, science, and Scripture to help you be educated, discipled about the truths of God. It'll help you grow in your relationship with Christ and really help you understand why we are where we are in the world today. I hope you'll join us on Monday.
So that is Aaron. He is completely awesome. We got some weird peanut there, but so it is definitely a place on Monday night, guys, where you can go and you can get some bigger questions answered. Maybe you have some questions about God, maybe you have some questions about Jesus, or about the Bible in general. And maybe you even, here's the thing, maybe some of you question even if is it real? Like, should I even believe this stuff? And this is a good place to go with those questions. Monday night, 6:30 right here.
Yeah, exactly. Coffee shop will be open.
Yes, coffee.
Just come hang out for a bit, learn some more. It'll be a good time.
Awesome. And a few more announcements, I believe.
Yes. So, we have social media. Make sure to give us a follow. We have Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, if you still use Facebook. We have Twitter. So just make sure to look us up there. Give us a follow. We'll post about events. We'll post pictures from tonight. We'll post videos from tonight. Just check it out.
And this is what's going to let you know also about cool things like this we are going to do in the future. So do make sure you can follow us there.
Exactly. And I don't remember. Oh, if you're a first-time guest, which is a lot of you, make sure you head to stage left afterwards. And actually, who here brought some first-time guests? Raise your hand real quick. Just
You like brought some people.
You brought people. You aren't a first-time guest. You brought someone. Okay. Afterwards, after we do the drawing and everything, I need you guys to come over here to the stage left door and talk to me. Okay? Got it? And bring the first-time guests. Okay.
All right. And I think Melvin's ready to draw, right?
All right.
All right. So, Melvin, as you come up here, I just kind of want to go over the stakes again. So this is a basketball autographed by you, right? So super cool. And also, what did you say at the middle school earlier?
So whoever wins this ball, you're gonna come up, I'm gonna get your information, your shoe size, and whatever shoe you want. I'm gonna send it here to ground zero, so you have to come and pick it up. So I'll get all your information, your shoe size, and we'll take care of that. All right?
Hopefully it's someone that's my same shoe size, so if you don't come back, I can wear it. But all right, I think we're ready to go.
Yes, real quick, before we do the drawing, if you are a first-time guest, I don't know if I said this or not, but make sure you head to stage left to get your packet, your free shirt, all the candy that they put in the bags. Make sure you head over there. Okay. Are we ready? Can we get a drum roll?
Drum roll, come on,
There.
guys. Free shoes, what is it? Oh, we got some big tickets. That's kind of the issue here. Dennis, you got a shuffle it?
The suspense.
DJ, keep the drum roll going. Oh wait, Dennis has a draw. Okay. Who's it?
You want to read it or you want me to read it? Okay.
Okay, we'll keep this going as long as
Okay,
we
the
can.
winner is, I can't even, Carl Sullivan.